All right, welcome on in, everybody. This is the truth about the Liberty team video. Now, honestly, it took me a while to come around on this team. I'm not a big PvP person, especially War. I do enjoy Crucible, but this is a primary War team. This is an elite War team. I would say this is a top 3, if not top 1 War team. So it took me a while to come around on this team. But as you can see, I've invested pretty heavily into them. Obviously, Patriot and War Machine are lacking a little bit, but the main core of it that I feel is the main core, I've invested quite heavily. But let's talk about the truth about Liberty. All right, and the truth about Liberty in War is they are the Apex War team. They're going to beat most, if not all, War defense teams. You just have to have them built up correctly, T4s, you know, etc., that sort of thing. Investment. Your team has to be invested in. But they are an Apex War team. So I'd be pretty confident taking them into most matchups. Obviously, my War Machine doesn't have any overpowered on them. I'm still working on them very slowly, but the main core 3 I've invested in, and I have no regrets about that. Falcon, Peggy, and Cap Sam are amazing. They're great. If you're not a War team, if you're not a War game mode fan, you might be able to slow play the build on this team a bit more. Let's talk about the truth about some other game modes now. All right, so the truth about Liberty in Cosmic Crucible is they're a decent defense team, especially if the room rules works with them. But unfortunately, in my opinion, a lot of the key factors of this team are ward dependent. The big one being enemies with slow cannot gain speed up. If this character... Enemies with slow cannot fill speed bar for themselves or allies. I still think they're a good Crucible defense, but they're going to be beaten. Don't be surprised if you put them on defense and they get one shot. Are they worth leveling up for Crucible defense? You got to ask yourself how many game modes you're using them across. If you're using them in War and you love War, invest in them. If you love them for Crucible, I think there's better options out there for defense, but they're not a bad defensive team, in my opinion. I've beaten Liberty teams before in one shot, so to me, it's not that impressive of a defensive team, but it does work sometimes. All right, let's talk about... This one hurts, but let's talk about Dark Dimension. Let's get the truth out about Dark Dimension for Liberty. All right, everybody, this is the part that I'm dreading of this video, because up to this point, Liberty has been pretty positive. I enjoy the characters. The team is fun to play. They're a great War team. They're a decent Crucible team. But unfortunately in Dark Dimension, they cover the global hero section, right? You're going to take these characters into the Xavier saga, and that's cool. But unfortunately, at least from my testing experience, I tried to take in a 3-piece of this team to the Dark Dimension 8, and I got smoked. It wasn't even close. I couldn't get this team to sustain enough or control enough to impact the node very much. It could be my investment levels. It could be maybe I need to take Patriot in there and help them out. I didn't have any success with them there yet. However, I still have success with the 3-piece Illuminati, Captain Brexit, Hank Pym, and Shuri Black Panther with Nightcrawler and Storm. That team can just one-shot the nodes, so why change what works, right? Why struggle with Liberty in there if that team still works? I just can't recommend this team for Dark Dimensions. The only thing I can say is this team would work. It's similar to Vigilante and how they struggle. This team also struggles. I think this team struggles in Dark Dimensions, and it's unfortunate because I like the team everywhere else. It's kind of an invest and test at your own at that point, but I don't recommend them for Global Hero. I still recommend the Illuminati 3-piece plus Storm and Nightcrawler. All right, everybody, that concludes the truth about the Liberty team. I really like this team, and I'm pulling for this team. It took a while to get me on Team Liberty, but now I'm here, and I fully back this team. They're a great team for a game mode that I don't really enjoy, so it must say how much I really do enjoy this team. In Dark Dimension, I mentioned that that's their weak spot, that they try to cover that hero global section, but I think they fall short. However, my testing was only with the big 3. I didn't include Patriot in that testing, and he could be, because of the way he applies taunt and all of his damage and whatnot, he could be what helps push that team over in Dark Dimension. So what I'm saying isn't factual. It's just based off my personal experience. If you have the 4-piece working in Dark Dimension, let me know down below. Tell me that they work. Tell me what your team is for Global Hero with Liberty, because I couldn't get them to work. A good benchmark for this team for Dark Dimension is Dark Dimension 8, the Sentinel node. If you've been there, you know which node I'm talking about, because it's not easy. But if this team can succeed with the 4-piece plus, let's say, Hank Pym or Nightcrawler, whatever it would be, maybe even the 5-piece, that would be amazing, and I'd love to put that stamp of approval on this team. But that does it for the truth about the Liberty team. Thank you guys for hanging out with this video. I do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below. Nope, comment down below, subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts, your encompassing thoughts on this team, because I think it's an interesting team. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.